Good evening, Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to Sports Extra. I'm your host Ahmed Dawazu. The latest roundup of Sports Tonight. There's a lot that we need to discuss. Let's give you the lineup that we've got for tonight. We're of course going to be starting things off with the Pakistan Super League. What a cracker of a game we had last night. It was Islamabad United up against Multan Sultans. 218 runs on the board, and Islamabad fell short of 20 runs. A heroic effort by Shadab Khan, scoring his career best runs for T20 cricket in the nervous 90s. Couldn't get 100, couldn't get his team over the line because when that wicket of Shadab fell, it was curtains for Islamabad United. Overall, their batting lineup of course faltered, apart from Shadab, who made that lone heroic effort. Had anyone stood with him, I think if Asif Ali could have continued for another over, things would have been a lot different. But credit to Multan Sultans, because I think the big thing was that even after this innings of Shadab Khan, even after being hit for all around the ground, Rizwan and his men did not take any pressure. Mohammad Rizwan was trying his best to calm the situation down, take the game to the end, trying to talk to his bowlers, trying to make the changes in the field necessary. So everybody felt very relaxed. So I think that's a good thing to see, and a good opportunity to learn for other captains as well, of how to muscle your troops in a way that they feel confident even if they're getting hit out of the park. Look, a batsman is also there to play. He's probably going to hit you with his skill. All you have to do is stay focused and wait for that one delivery, and that's what Multan did. And that one delivery made the difference by Roman Reis, Tim David taking that catch on the deep leg side boundary, and then things of course changed for Islamabad United. We'll be talking about that, but Multan is now top of the table, unbeaten in the tournament. Islamabad has their head up high because even the Multan management gave a lot of credit to Shadab Khan. After that, we'll be talking about the match tonight as well. We'll be of course talking about Peshawar Zalmiya and Lahore Qalandars, but the Under-19 World Cup is definitely a thing to look out for, where England have beaten Afghanistan and they have qualified for the final of this Under-19 World Cup, while we do know that India and Australia are locking horns for the Under-19 second semi-final. Winner will take on England in the final. After that, we'll be discussing something very particular. Of course, sad when you see a superstar call it a day, but it's Tom Brady, who has announced his retirement for NFL. And he's been one of the best. I think he set the bar for GOAT of NFL. And if you talk about his 6 Super Bowl wins or whatever he's achieved in his career, I think is absolutely superb. So the number 12 jersey would always remain there. Tom Brady will always be a legend. He's a 7-time Super Bowl winning champion, a quarterback, and then he won 6 titles with his team as well. The 3-time season MVP has of course bid farewell to NFL and has now decided to move on in life. We'll be talking all about that in tonight's show, starting things off with cricket. Time now to introduce my guest in studios. I've been joined first of all by cricket expert. He's a cricket commentator. He's a regular part of our show, and it's always great to have him. And I'll be very frank, he has won against me because I was rooting for Multan Sultans. I was rooting for Islamabad United. He was rooting for Multan Sultans. So the pizza is on me, but it is K. Asif's night. Assalamu alaikum, sir. How are you?
Walaikum assalam. I'm good, Ahmed. How about yourself?
I'm very good, and the smile on your face, that beautiful red blazer says it all, that you're absolutely shining with a victory. And joining K. Asif tonight is a very dear friend, an elder brother, a cricket expert, sports expert in general, but cricket is his forte these days. And as I've been told, and I've known as well, that a very, very particular golfer when you talk about his career. And in the world of golf, he is certainly someone who is making headlines. So if you want to take up your clubs against him, then you're surely going to be on the losing side, because his skill is now on display. If you talk about Islamabad and Rawalpindi and throughout wherever he's playing golf, he is none other than Imran Junju. Assalamu alaikum, sir. How are you?
Assalamu alaikum, Ahmed. Thank you for inviting.
Great to have you on the show. Now, of course, we've got a report on the match that happened. Let's go take a look at that. Let's look at all the details. Let's rub some salt into our wounds and then we come back.
Shadab Khan's fighting 91 of 42 balls went in vain for Islamabad United as Multan Sultans maintained their perfect start to the season by clinching a high-scoring match by 20 runs. Tim David and Riley Rosso set Sultans up for a huge total by adding 110 for the 4th wicket in less than 8 overs. The pair took Sultans to their highest PSL score and the 4th highest in the tournament's history. The majority of that damage was done in the final 6 overs, in which Sultans piled up 107 runs. Multan Sultans set a target of 218 runs, so far the highest in the ongoing season of Pakistan Super League 7. For the Islamabad United, Later, despite the top order's early collapse, Islamabad United's Shadab Khan cracked 91 of 42 balls to keep his side floating in a massive chase, where they kept losing regular wickets. No other batter could score even 25 runs against the strong Multan Sultans bowling attack, who were able to restrict the United to 197 for the loss of 10 wickets in 20 overs. Khushdil Shah picked up 4 wickets, David Wiley 3, while Anwar Ali and Ruman Rais took a scalp each.
Right, welcome back, and you saw that report that we were talking about, all the details of the match that happened as you saw it, of course, and we will be discussing that in detail. But someone who's been showing us his fantabulous moves during that report is K. Asif, who's on the winning side. I will accept losing as a proud captain as I should, and I have of course lost that bet. But K. Asif, what would you like to say about the bet and the match?
First of all, I would like to tell people that according to the sources, your blood pressure was fluctuating last night. And I was pretty much enjoying that. Of course, you know that Multan Sultan is the team which is performing really well throughout the league, I mean, so far. And they're the defending champions, of course. And the way they are playing, I think that still they are standing on the champions' race. So last night it was the game of Tim David. As you said that in your intro, that the way Shadab Khan fought, it was phenomenal. But Tim David really rose so. Then Imran Tahir bowled really nicely. And
Khushdil Shah.
Khushdil Shah is a surprise package for everyone, you know. And I must talk about that, the captaincy of Rizwan. That, I mean, the way he is leading, we youngsters are looking forward that he is a really best captain so far in the PSL. And you know that the Multan Sultan was narrowly he was number 5, number 6 team in the PSL, but after 6th edition and in 7th edition, I must say that they're on the top, of course, because of their performances. And don't forget about Shan Masood there. He is still there, and he's performing nicely. And the way he is performing in T20 cricket, now everyone is talking about that might be he'll be the next member of Pakistan cricket team for the upcoming World Cup as well.
That definitely can be. I think a lot of credit to Shan Masood, the way he's improved his game as well. That's of course a treat to watch. But Imran, I have to say frankly, I want to appreciate the efforts of Shadab Khan. But at the same time, Islamabad management did make some errors, sending some people very late down the order.
Well, a quick word on Rizwan. K. Asif has covered it well. We've been covering it. This is Rizwan's tournament. This is Multan's tournament to lose now. Even after dropping 3 catches against Shadab, people thought, you know, the bowling side is depleted. Now the bowling side is performing. Rizwan in 2 matches not performing, and Russo and Tim David. This is what we've been talking about. That the batting lineup that they have, they are the top ones in T20 cricket, because the top 3 names in top 10 are playing for Multan. So Rizwan has got a lot of edge. Everything is happening for Rizwan. Coming back to Islamabad United, now again, this is again Rizwan factor. The best team on papers. Probably a lot of people are backing Islamabad United based on whatever they have on the paper and the performance that they've been.
But speaking of having something on paper, I've been told you have a lot of stats tonight. Is that true?
We'll talk about it as it goes. But point is, what I was trying to say here was that Rizwan's, you know, he's being a maverick in this tournament. And now that has actually put Islamabad, a team like Islamabad United, under pressure also. Like if you see that 90 runs being scored in the last 5 overs, so that shows what you know, and losing Rizwan early still. So that's and a bowling outfit like Islamabad United. You know, so this shows exactly that everything is happening for Multan, and a team like Islamabad United is being put under pressure. So you know, so this is what is happening. Like I said again, that it's a long tournament to go. Like last time, Multan was never there, came back, won 7 out of 8 and won the championship. But this is now the tournament, 4 out of 4. This is a tournament for Rizwan and Multan to lose.
Right, definitely. That is of course the case when we talk about the improvement of Multan Sultans. I think it's not been a long time since they've been a franchise. So I think now it's a proper brand of cricket that they're playing, and everybody's talking about them. That does make headway. But we'll be praising Multan Sultans in some of their corners, of course, throughout the PSL, because they are performing well. But Asif, my question remains the same. Do you also believe that Islamabad sent some players very late down the order? Speaking of Asif Ali, speaking of Hassan Ali, who could have made a difference, these were picks you could have used early on with Shadab.
This is Multan Sultan, dear. Nothing will gonna happen. You don't worry about that. Either you are sending Asif Ali in the opening position. I'm telling you that. I mean, look, to be very honest, now coming on the serious point that the issue is which Imran has raised that you conceded 93 runs in last 5 overs. Come on, dear. This is T20 cricket. Anything above 200 and 210, 220 would be really difficult to chase, especially against David Willey, Imran Tahir, Khushdil Shah, the bowlers, and amazingly, it was really, I was amazed to see that the way Anwar Ali bowled. So this is the point there. And then Roman Reis, of course, he has taken the huge wicket of Shadab Khan on the really tragic moment. So Asif Ali or rest of the batters, the point is that when you had given 93 runs in last 5 overs, you lost all the hopes. And the Multan Sultan, look, if Rizwan is not performing, Shoaib Maqsood is not performing, Really Rosu is there, Tim David is there. How could you forget Tim David, a guy from Australia? And you know that
Asif, you think because you just mentioned it, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but huge mistake from Lahore Qalandars letting him go.
Yes, absolutely true. And as the James Faulkner as well, they both are from Australia and they're performing really well. And in the last night, you see that he 6 sixes, 29 deliveries and scored 70, and he was the man of the match, and he's a fabulous fielder. So I think that he's a surprise package for T20, and Lahore Qalandars lost him, and I think that now they are regretting.
I'm sure they are, because his performance is a benchmark that is really high now in PSL. Imran, what would you like to add? As you also mentioned, Asif agrees that when you give away this amount of runs in the last 5 overs, the momentum certainly shifts. But if you talk about Multan, their bowling has been disciplined. Even though they were getting hit out of the park, Rizwan made sure that their bowlers still took the game till the very end.
Okay, so now I look at it in a different way. Now the stats will be racking up as the tournament goes in. The previous stats of the previous PSLs, now everything goes for a 6 because it's a new tournament. The new stats will be looked at by the captain in the dugouts. Now I'm more interested in looking at that what exactly is happening, analyzing it in a different way. And that is that Mohammad Rizwan and Multan, they were playing their 4th match. Islamabad, they were playing their 2nd match. Now what you're seeing is, we've been saying it from right at the start, it's about leadership, it's about captaincy on the ground before, but primarily on the ground. What you have seen even in a losing cause, Shadab, who could have thought that no one is performing and scoring 90 runs? Of course, there are 3 catches that they dropped, but this is what happens in cricket, and especially T20. So Shadab, and what Shadab has done is that as the tournament will grow, all the captains, they will see their strengths, their weaknesses. They will see some makeshift bowlers, like how about K. Shah coming in and performing the way he's doing. 4 wickets. In the last match, 3 wickets. He's
leading wicket taker now in the PSL.
Leading wicket taker. Look at his fielding. I mean, he's the guy right now. In terms of all round, he's performing all grounds. So going back to it, but even in a losing cause, Ahmed, what Shadab has done, look at the last 3 that he has done. That we win together, all right? Loss is a loss, just the 2nd match. And you'll see that Islamabad United will grow from strength to strength, because they must have analysed what went wrong yesterday. Even nobody performing. Alex Hayes, who was a star, we expected him to fire even yesterday, and probably that's why you were gunning for Islamabad United, because he's one of the best in the world right now. But what you see is that still it could have been pretty close. It could have been a super over. This is what T20 and PSL is bringing forth right now. That the matches are going to get, the scores are getting to go more. The losing margins are going to get more less and less. So I see that going forward, Multan, up till now, everything is clicking. But yesterday, one weak area which I would like to point out is their fielding. They have dropped catches, and dropping catches at a critical juncture in an important matches going ahead. I think this is one area that they need to look into.
Definitely. I think that drop catch could have cost them dearly had it not been for that 20 runs margin. That definitely made the difference. But K. Asif, Khushdil Shah, leading wicket taker in the tournament, I don't think there was even a talk about him being a part-time bowler, and now he's a main bowler for Multan Sultans and a go-to option for Mohammad Rizwan. Then, as Imran also mentioned, and I think that's the most important point, the way he's fielding is absolutely phenomenal in a T20 match, or in any form of cricket for that fact. his catching, his fielding abilities, his ground fielding and everything, the game awareness that we talk about. Then of course, like I said, his bowling, 3 wickets in the previous match, 4 wickets in this one, leading wicket taker. Now the top 3 leading wicket takers in the list are all from Multan Sultans. So something phenomenal that Rizwan has been able to achieve out of these people.
Well, that's right. And once again, if you do remember that Wasim Akram said about Saklan Mushtaq that Pakistan win every second game due to Saklan Mushtaq. And now this is what's happening with the Khushdil Shah. There was the captain Wasim Akram. Here's the captain Mohammad Rizwan. Wasim Akram was no doubt he was a legend fast bowler. And but his leading capabilities, his abilities, each and everything was perfect. And that's why I think that when you are giving confidence to your players, especially Rizwan, on one moment last night, you have seen that when Anwar Ali bowled a wide delivery and he was asking for a review and just making fun, you know. This is all about cricket. You're enjoying your cricket, and it does not matter that what the situations are. This is called sportsman spirit, and that's why Multan Sultan is growing up day by day, because their captain is behaving like a captain. Their captain is behaving like a leader, like the best captains are in the world, like Kane Williamson, like Mahendra Singh Dhoni was. So that's why Multan Sultan is growing. And of course, that when we talk about their dugout, some brains are sitting there, and Iflar, Mushtaq Ahmed, Haider Azhar, they're so all of them, they're working like a unit, and that's why they are giving confidence to their players. Does not matter what's happening. And to be very honest, that I was, when Anwar Ali came to bowl, I was pretty much annoyed that why he has given ball to him. But because Abbas Afridi was, he was conceding runs. So, but look, he bowled really nicely.
Yeah.
So I think that Khushdil Shah is bowling well, and credit goes to the pitch makers, credit goes to the curators, the groundsmen. It was a perfect pitch, help for the fast bowlers, help for the batters, help for the spinners.
Yeah, good for cricket, as we say.
Yes.
Yeah, good for cricket, perfect for cricket. But I want to take this opportunity to congratulate the Multan Sultans management as well. And particularly, as Asif mentioned, I want to take this opportunity to congratulate and applaud the role of Haider Azhar in this entire gambit that we're talking about, Multan Sultans. Haider Bhai's dance moves, his pumping fist when they win, the tension and the emotions on his face when things look
His
tough.
dance and your blood pressure.
I think that is perfect, because the way Haider Bhai has been animated throughout the tournament is, I think, absolutely superb. And the way he's managed, and I think the credit also goes to their management, because Rizwan even mentioned in their post-match conference as well, the post-match interview, he said, I want to thank the management because they give us a lot of confidence even in our bad times, and they're the ones who lift us up. So Haider Bhai, this is all about you. Credit to you. Keep on supporting your side. Keep on lifting these guys up. Keep on giving them iPhones. I think that is really making headlines, but absolutely superb as we talk about Multan Sultans. But Imran, would you like to add more about this game, and then we'll move on to the next one?
Well, for me, the most important thing is that, it's exciting times for cricket. I'm really excited to follow cricket and PSL with you right now, and a few other friends right now in Pakistan. And I think what's happening is that everything is evolving. Asif talked about Saklan Mushtaq. I really like the guy, the way he's matured in as a senior guy who really knows how to work with the teams. Excellent career with the English team, playing conditions. He knows what it takes to take the team forward. Secondly is you see the leadership evolving. I don't want to go too much ahead, but considering how we people operate and how our cricket boards and team managements operate, right now Babar is a superstar. He's one of the best captains right now in the cricketing world. But see, 3 matches, people are already talking about that. So, but how about the leadership being evolved? Rizwan has already done it. Right now, how about a combination like Imran Khan and Javed Miadad? Javed Miadad asking Imran Khan when he was making comeback, please come and lead this side. How about Rizwan growing in the leadership, and as he's growing? I mean, he's right now, I would say, in the top 3 in terms of the performances that he's doing. He's one of the best captains. How about Shadab? Not just making comeback, but look at the leadership that he is showing. See, so even the leadership is evolving. I want to talk about, touch upon K. Shah again, and even Talat Hussain. Some of the players who we thought had great potential. Now, even in the earlier matches, you see them, that they're coming in, they're performing, and making a name for themselves.
Absolutely. But Imran, very quickly, because I've been told that we've got to move on as well. Tonight, it's Lahore Qalandars up against Peshawar Zalmi. What do you fancy for tonight's game?
It's a tough one to call, Ahmed. I think today, Again, on paper, it's something different.
But pick one, come on, for the sake of competition.
Quickly, as you asked about the stats, the quick one for you, that it's total 13. 8 goes in favor of Peshawar Zalmi, all right?
Yes.
And 5 are going. But here is an interesting one, that in National Stadium, both the matches are being won by the other team. So Zalmi, so stats goes out of the window. But I think it's a tough one. Why? Because Rashid Khan versus Usman Tai. So you leg spinner versus leg spinner, big hitters versus big hitters, some good bowlers also. And what Shoaib Malik has done, he's not the captain. All right, Wahab Riaz is captaining, but he's the leadership material. Shoaib Malik has already shown while leading the side in the first match, that what he can do. So it's going to be a tough one to say, but I still feel, that Zalmi, I want the tournament to grow because I want all the teams to perform well so that when they reach Lahore, so everyone has enough thing in their baggage so that, the excitement is pretty much there.
A competitive
today I want Peshawar Zalmi to win.
Well, Peshawar Zalmi is Imran's call. K. Asif, your call, considering 13 matches between these two sides, 5 have won by Lahore Qalandars, 8 by Zalmi, but the last 4 encounters, 2 in 2021, 2 in 2020, have all 4 been won by Lahore Qalandars.
Yes, and I really respect your opinion, but to be very honest, I'm a die-hard fan of Lahore Qalandars, and I think that they're performing well in last couple of games, if you've seen that. And as people are talking about, and Imran talking about the captaincy, so there's another name, and that is Shaheen Shah Afridi, a young guy. So I think give him some confidence, and I think they're going to win if they're going to catch Hazratullah Zazai and Shoaib Malik.
Kiasif, quickly, I always like going up the ante. So how about him being putting under pressure? I want him to grow, of course, not just as a bowler but as a leader. But how about he's being taken for a 6 early on, and remember the other bowler is not performing.
But last comment there, it was his second match there. Give him some time, and I'm telling you that he'll be really nice.
Right. Give me some time, I think, because I'm very short on time. I'll quickly move on to the segment recap for this segment. We of course discussed the fact that we discussed the PSL in detail, discussed the fact that Multan Sultans managed to beat Islamabad United by that hefty margin of 20 runs. Tim David has been a star sensation, and of course Shadab's entertaining knock of 90 plus runs has been absolutely superb. 91, 9 short of 100, and then of course short of victory for Islamabad as well. Tonight Qalandars are facing Peshawar Zalmi. It's action. Zalmi has been called, but I think I am going with Lahore Qalandars tonight just for the sake of the competition. It'll be good. Moving on to the Under-19 World Cup, where England has beaten Afghanistan. They're into the finals now. Elsewhere, Australia and India are going to be battling out to qualify for the final and face England for this Under-19 final. So very quickly, gentlemen, let's take your words for this one as well. Imran, England is now in the final. Australia, India battling it out. What do you think?
See, Afghanistan has done well. We wanted our team to do well. Of course, under-19 is very important when it comes to the future cricket. But this is what exactly shows the prowess of Indian cricket. One of the earlier programs that I did at PTV, we talked about Virat Kohli and IPL IPL coming back and hurting them. But how about when we talk about stats? Very few matches they have lost in the last 10 years, and 2 of them are finals.
Yes.
So this is what exactly shows that the Indian team, their structure is pretty compact. How the cricketers evolve and come and play for the national side. So that's exciting time for India.
Right.
So for me, India is the favorite again to win.
Right.
But again, England, they are playing well also.
England is also playing well. K. Asif, you also called it that there's a lot of baggage right now on India that they're going to win this because they're very confident. They've got that experience and structure. What is your call now when we see England is in the final?
Yes, you're right. I have mentioned last night as well that the India is favorite, and now they're batting first. And let's suppose if they're scoring 260, 70, they'll be in good position. On the other side, Australia is not really easy team. But I think that if you see their sides of both of the teams, that India is on the better side. And talking about the last night's game, and of course I was pretty much happy that I was looking that the way Afghanistan fought. I mean, on one moment when 23 was remaining in 3 overs, and Rashid Khan tweeted that we are in the semi-final. So I think that they were a little overconfident. Otherwise, they have played well. So good luck for the England and good luck for the rest of the team.
Definitely. K. Asif, thank you so much for joining us, brother. Always great having you on the show.
Pleasure.
Right now, of course, let's take a look at our segment recap. We discussed the Under-19 World Cup, and we discussed the fact that England has beaten Afghanistan. They're into the finals now. 3 wicket was the margin of the victory in the penultimate over. India is now taking on Australia for the second semi-final for a spot. Whoever wins will go on to face England in the final of the Under-19 World Cup. On that note, we'll go towards a short break, but stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Sports Extra. Time now for our segment where we are talking about a legend who has called it curtains on his career. NFL would be known for many things, but I think one part of NFL would always be known for Tom Brady. He's now called it curtains on his career. We've got a report. Let's go take a look and then come back.
Tom Brady, one of the greatest players in the history of the NFL, has confirmed his retirement. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback won 7 Super Bowls in an astonishing career spanning 22 seasons. Brady won 6 titles with the New England Patriots before his final triumph with the Buccaneers last year. The 5-time Super Bowl most valuable player is retiring after deciding he could no longer make the competitive commitment to continue. His final game in the NFL was a 30-27 loss to the Los Angeles Rams in the playoffs when his heroics narrowly failed to pull off a sensational comeback from 27-3 down.
He makes the catch, he's in for the score!
Brady, a 3-time NFL season MVP, had a year remaining on his contract with the Bucs. Brady played in 10 Super Bowls, including an incredible comeback from 28-3 down against the Atlanta Falcons in 2017, and had a perfect 16-0 regular season with the Patriots in 2007. He won a Super Bowl in 3 different decades and retires after amassing a career-high 5,316 passing yards in his final season. Brady leads the all-time passing statistics with 84,520 yards. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell said Brady would be remembered as one of the greatest to ever play in the NFL.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a 2nd Super Bowl title in franchise history.
You don't think this game means anything to them, do you?
Let's go! You're looking at the greatest right there.
I think after your career's over, there's going to be so many times to reflect. It's been an amazing football journey.
More than 84,000 yards when you talk about his career, more than 22 years. And like you just heard, that at many times he was told that maybe his career is over, but he still went on and on. And that's why we say one of the greatest ever to play the NFL. We'll be talking all about Tom Brady in tonight's second segment. In studios now, we've been joined by my co-host and our sports expert, Sabeel Hazir. Assalamu alaikum, Sabeel, how are you?
Walaikum Assalam, Ahmed. I'm good. A bit upset about the Brady news, as is the rest of the sporting world, but good otherwise.
Well, I want to come to this point straight on, because I know the hardest thing to do is say goodbye to a sport you love. And then the hardest thing for the fans is to say goodbye to someone who, they've seen as the game itself, who's been the icon of the game for them. Difficult moment, but the legacy he's left on is certainly something that will live on.
So in that package, we mentioned how he's one of the greatest of all time. In my opinion, and a lot of people's opinions, he is the greatest of all time, not just in the NFL. He's one of the greatest sportsmen of all time, not the greatest athlete, but the greatest sportsman. He 7-time Super Bowl winner, 5-time MVP, most Pro Bowls, most yards thrown, most offensive player of the years for a quarterback. He is it. When you talk about the man, Tom Brady was the man. And, we knew this season would be, if not his last, his penultimate season at least. The max he'd go is maybe another year, right? So we were kind of prepared, but you're never really prepared to let go, especially if it's like a hero of yours. And when you see the career he's had, you mentioned the legacy he's left behind, it's unbelievable. Genuinely, from the starts he's had, you look at his combine results. He didn't have a great combine. I urge them to go look at his combine results. He was 199th pick, in the draft when he was picked for the NFL. He had that scandal, the deflator ball scandal, where he had to sit out 4 games for the start of the next season. And despite all of that, comeback after comeback after comeback. Yeah, you doubted it at the start of his career, became a starting quarterback, won the Super Bowl. Then he had that little bit of a scandal his team had. He was suspended. He won that season. He won the Super Bowl that season as an MVP. Then you talk about him getting older at 37. 4 Super Bowls come off the age of 37. This man is an inspiration in every sense of the word, and to not see him play anymore. By the way, he's still good. Like, the Rams are an amazing force. They are the slight favorites.
That's
to
why
win
we
the
said he's
Super
got
Bowl.
a year left on his contract.
Yeah, they're the slight favorites to win the Super Bowl. He almost led a comeback against them. Obviously, they got knocked out by the Rams, but nobody can deny, in my opinion, that sports is better because Tom Brady was a player.
Definitely. Imran, we've often heard the phrase, age is just a number. Now we want to see a practical example. Tom Brady proved that.
Well, as Sabeel has adequately covered, I think he's one of the greatest sportsmen to play the game, not just the game that he's played. the way he has, he's a leader, the way he has grown in, the way he has taken the sports by the storm, and then, growing, the sports has grown with Brady. Brady is one of the, like Tiger Woods is to golf, right? So, and by the way, both of them have played golf. So as people are speculating about his future, the Buccaneers. But you see, the greatest thing which you see and you can learn from such great sportsmen and legend is that people are speculating, even Buccaneers, that what exactly is the reason, because as both of you said, that he still has some gas left in his tank. But what exactly, apart from the family and health reason, what he has clearly said, it's about succession. So that's what you've got to give your seat to someone else, all right? You want succession, new players to come in, because he wants Buccaneers to do well, and they're expecting the rosters change. So some new players coming in. So that shows the legendary status of the man that as we have spoken about. And I think going forward, there's a lot of speculation what he could do. I think he could go into Hollywood. He could start, in his own category.
A biography about Tom Brady. You never know about that.
With his strength and height, I can tell you, being a little golfer as I am, so that he can make a career in any way. And I think let's kudos to what he has done to the sports and to the country.
Definitely. Sabir, two very particular numbers. He was 22 years old when he first got drafted into the NFL. And his career spanned 22 years as well. When he's called it, he's 44 now. So very interesting numbers. And also, I think the main fact I want to know about is that he spent 20 seasons with the Patriots, which was probably the most he spent his time in, if you talk about any teams as well. So what does that go to signify? That, of course he was enjoying his time there, but the commitment and the dedication of having a good combination with the side and its management as a franchise, of course.
So obviously they took a chance when they drafted him, and that loyalty he repaid. When he left the Patriots, look, I've been to their stadium. I've seen the way people, I coached there for a while in New England, and to see, in Massachusetts, in that region, and I saw the way people worshipped him. He wasn't some ordinary guy. Like, all the merchandise, everything was Brady, Brady, Brady. And understandably, he's everything to those people. So I think I think when you talk about the franchise, right, they owe him a lot. Yes, he owes them for taking a chance on that kid, at 22. But
then he repaid the favor.
And, I want to touch on something that Imran Bhai mentioned. I just want to expand on that. You mentioned golf, and it's very interesting that you mentioned golf, because the BBC did a brilliant article on this as well. And I want to point out that when you talk about Tiger Woods, right, prodigy, right, young age, you just could do things, and obviously hard work, dedication got to the top. Brady wasn't that. Brady was a scrawny kid. He couldn't get into his college team. He wasn't a starter straight away. He couldn't bench 225 when he came to the NFL. That's one of the markers, right? He couldn't sprint, but he had something up here, and he had something in here, more importantly. And I think if you're a young kid, a young girl or a young boy playing any sport, right? Look, if you don't fit the mold, because he didn't fit the mold, you don't fit the mold, you're not what's expected, right? And you're the last pick at gym, you're the last kid to get picked for a team, but you try hard, and you genuinely, with your heart, put in everything you have, right? One day you too can become a myth. One day you too can become a legend, and it's possible. It's genuinely possible, and that I think kids should really, really look to a man like him.
Pure movie stuff. Pure movie stuff.
Definitely.
Pure movie stuff
Hollywood
in real life when we talk about Tom Brady. And I think he's right, because if you look at his career, obviously with ups and downs, with controversies and everything, but you got to realize that he wasn't probably one of the most skillful, as you talked about, the technicalities and everything involved. But just that spirit to, never say no or never back down really made him go on and on. But Imran, that brings us to a fact that when you've had such an illustrious career, when you've been at the top, when you've won 7 Super Bowls, you've won almost all awards that you can think of, what happens when it's time to say goodbye? How hard is that decision for any athlete to think that, okay, maybe this is my time now?
The status, what he has carried, like you said earlier, I think more than him, it's the fans. It is difficult for the Federer fans or the Tiger Woods fans or Brady fans to just imagine or just to come to know that somebody is bidding farewell. So, but quick word on his his new passion that he has, that is golf. By the way, he has tweeted, right? I just looked at it. That the kind of, I cannot think of, I've played few sports, I cannot think of going and playing what Brady did, right? I've injured body, I can play a little bit of golf, but not thinking of it. But what exactly he has said is, after what he has done in the sports, that he thinks that golf is the most difficult and the most exciting thing that he is playing right now. So that's for golf fans. You know, this is what golf is. Like, it looks easy, or looks a game of the old, but it's a game of gold. You know, what golf teaches you and what the kind of excitement that you get. This is Brady right after, and you'll see in coming days that Brady will participate in few tournaments also.
He will definitely. Sabeel, final question now. You know, even his Twitter handle says family and football. So, you know, that tells us about his priority. The football part might be over, but family will always be there. And obviously, you know, Imran is mentioning, maybe he's got a career in golf, but even if he plays it for fun, a net worth of $400 million is probably, he's got a very great life ahead of him.
Hollywood more.
Yeah, a very nice retirement life that he can enjoy.
Yeah, definitely. Look, he has, the good thing is he's not one of those athletes who has nothing outside the sport that will be lost afterwards. Golf is interesting, but he's obviously got his family.
Yeah.
He's got
health issues also.
Yeah, luckily he's got enough money in the bank. He doesn't have to worry about it. He's invested smartly over the course of his career. He's not going to be financially
Yeah, maybe from an NFL and NFT coming up. You never know.
You might. I definitely think that's a possibility. But I think he's going to spend time with his family. He's going to really enjoy it and look back on his career. And what regrets are you going to have? By the way, there's a chance he might win regular season MVP. I think Rodgers will tip him to it. But there's a chance he could win. And then we'll see who the Super Bowl MVP is when that happens. But a regular season MVP might be on the cards. And I think it would be nice to see him win it. But even if he doesn't, even if he never scores below par in golf, he never gets a film, never does anything else in his life in terms of success. He's done it all.
Yeah.
He needs nothing else, and he goes to bed, I'm sure, a very happy man because he's got a great family, a loving family, supporting family. And, you know, the relationship he has with his dad even, you know, he spoke about that once a kid asked him a question at a press conference. He nearly broke down because he's like, you know, he was my hero. This is a man who has strong family values and strong values outside the game. Tom Brady will be all right. I don't know about the rest of us.
Unlike many other players of NFL who've had a history of family feuds as well. Yeah. But on that note, Sabeel Hazir and Imran Jujua, thank you so much for joining us. Let's take a look at our segment recap. We, of course, discussed the illustrious career of Tom Brady, and we discussed that he's called it curtains on his career at 44 years age, a career of 22 years, 22 when he was first drafted in, a 7-time Super Bowl winner. He set the record and I think the bar for greatest of all time, and his intensity has surely, fueled the rise, and for many of us to love NFL as well and love every bit of him. But I think from the entire team of Sports Extra, from me, Sabeel, Imran, everybody who's involved, we wish all the best to Tom Brady. We wish him a great retirement life. Like Sabeel said, a lot of time to spend with the family, with strong family values. But one thing is for sure, NFL will always be remembered for Tom Brady. On that note, from me and the entire team, it's goodbye for now.